how to turn your bookshelf speaker into a tower speaker, plus 33 versus 45 RPM. Is it worth it? Stick around, we'll talk about it. Fleetwood Mac's 1977 release, Rumours. What more are we going to say about it? Not much that hasn't been said already, right? What I want to talk about is really getting it from this particular quote. I was doing some research and I was on somebody else's YouTube channel. And in one of the comments, I read this, and really this video is just to say I kind of disagree with the quote. Let me read you the quote. Quote, "I'll stick with the 33 RPM because I have an inexpensive system and won't be able to tell the difference with the 45. Completely wrong. Okay, completely wrong. And I'll tell you why, because I have a very modest system. We've talked about it before. And this hobby of being an audiophile and getting the hunt and chasing down new equipment and constantly trying to improve your system, you can spend tens, hundreds of thousands, hell, $1 million on a system. Mine, I've got about $3,500 into it, okay? If you haven't watched the other videos, I'll recap what my system is. My analog stage, it's an Audio-Technica LP120, okay? Nothing miraculous there. I do have running an upgraded cartridge. It's an ML variant. It's in the description with everything else if you want to take a better look. The Phono stage, the Preamp, is a Pro-Ject 2-box S2 going into a Rotel A11 Tribute integrated amp, and out these Wharfdale Denton 85th Anniversary Edition speakers. Again, $3,000 to $3,500 worth of investment into my HiFi system. Okay, not a lot. So going back to that quote, that somebody thinks that they're not going to be able to hear the difference. Well, I disagree wholeheartedly, and we'll go through it. Okay, so let's just start with a couple things here. I actually have 3 copies of this album. I can't believe I have 3 copies of this album. Almost seems wasteful, but we'll go through this. Well, this one I didn't pay for. This was my parents'. This is a 1977 U.S. first release, and it's got the it's the variant that has the mock leather textured cover. Also, my parents must have spilled something on this every once in a while because it's not in the greatest of shape. But yeah, this was the original Warner Brothers pressing that in the dead wax on the album. It says, I want to get the wording. I want to get the wording exactly right. It says, yeah, mastered by Capitol. The band, even though it was a Warner Brothers record, they wanted it mastered at Capitol by an individual called Ken Perry. So in the dead wax, you will also see the KP sign. So that's what this one is. Sounds really good. It's my parents used and abused this album, but it still sounds pretty good. So that's that. My copy, I bought a 33 RPM copy of this record, I don't know, maybe about 10, 12 years ago or so. And this has been my go-to. It's one of the most enjoyable albums I have. It's a, if you want to say, it's one of my desert island albums. And this particular one is, it was mastered by Kevin Gray and Steve Hoffman. And it is also pressed at Palace. So this is supposedly one of the really good versions to listen to. Now, I'm going to put in the description below. I mentioned him a few times. Excuse me, his website is called The In Groove. and his YouTube channel is also called The In Groove. And Mike, the owner over there, he has a video where he goes through Rumours at length, comparing probably, I'd say, darn near close to 15 different variants from Japanese pressings and European pressings and US pressings and all of that. So check his link out if you want a much more detailed approach to this. But I believe he said this was the third best sounding version that he has heard. And again, it's been my go-to, one of the most enjoyable records I have. We'll get more into that in a few minutes. And then obviously the last record that I have here is the 45 RPM. This thing's great. Packaging is fantastic. Really, really high quality. Yeah, fantastic. So those are the three different versions I own. And obviously the 45 is also mastered by Kevin Gray and Steve Hoffman. It's the same mastering via both my 33 and my 45, the newer ones. So let's just go over my overall thoughts real quick, okay? The 33, like I mentioned earlier, it's a fantastic record to listen to, even on my modest system, right? It's a very crisp sound stage. It's probably 3 to 4 feet outside the speakers left to right. In the center image, you're getting a height of around 3 feet there. It has very good dynamic range. It has really good instrument separation, and it does have a good amount of depth as well. Again, great album to listen to on a 33 speed. Having my Rotel set at 75, I was getting about 84 decibels out of the 33. The only other thing I'll add about the 33 RPM is you're getting really good bass, you're getting very good treble, sparkly up on top, and you're getting some nice punch with the dynamics there. No complaints whatsoever. And it's a quiet record, so it's recorded well. You know it's vinyl, but it is quiet, meaning you're not getting a lot of the noises and pops and all of that. It's good quality vinyl that they were using. Pressed at Palace, I believe, is the one you should be looking for the 33 speed record. Now, on the 45, having set my Rotel at 75 for the volume, right, I'm getting about 86 decibels. So I'm getting about 2 more decibels for the same volume settings. And that's to be expected, evidently, with a 45 speed cut record. You're getting more detail in the grooves. You can record it a little bit hotter because you got a lot more space on the vinyl itself. The soundstage is 6 to 7 feet outside. It's literally coming from outside the wall here. On that side, it's reaching all the way to the wall. The height is it's 4+ feet center image. It's bigger in every way imaginable. Dynamic range is huge. The depth perception within the holographic image is not, you know, 1.5 feet forward of your speakers to the back wall. No, I'm sitting 10.5 feet away, and it's almost like it's a 3D movie where the depth, you can feel it coming. I mean, there's certain aspects of some of the guitar solos where you feel like it's coming out 4 feet into the room. The cowbell in some of the songs, it is so tangible, you can close your eyes, feel like you can hit it with your own stick. So you're getting a much deeper soundstage with the 45 speed record. And it's dead quiet. It almost sounds like, in fact it does, it sounds like a digital copy. There is, meaning not a digital copy vinyl record, a digital file coming off my computer. This vinyl is dead quiet. Can't even tell that you're listening to vinyl. So that's really the main differences between the two. We'll get to the thumbnail here in a second, right? When I said that you can change your bookshelf speakers to a tower on the cheap. Yeah, we'll get to that in a few minutes. Right off the bat with the first song, Secondhand News, you know right away that, oh, this is going to be different. Now, how I listen to it, I listened to when I got this, I listened to the 33 speed first, and then I listened to the 45. Just listening without writing any notes down or anything like that. And then I would listen to it another time individually, and then for the third time I would listen to it the 45 just all by itself once again. So I got quite a bit of listening experience inside of about 2.5 days. Secondhand news, like I stated earlier, you know as soon as you put the needle down, this is going to be different. You are now not listening to music any longer, you're experiencing it. And that's the biggest takeaway from this is you're not listening to this album, you are experiencing this album in a completely different way. Soundstage, detail, dynamic range right away from Secondhand News. You know you're in for a nice ride. Dreams. You've heard this song maybe more than any other song on the album, maybe more than any other song Fleetwood Mac has ever put out. On this 45 speed record, it's different, meaning it is evolved to a point where you're hearing stuff you've never heard before. A lot more bass, a lot more detail, depth for days. It's thick. The depth will come halfway from the speakers to where you're sitting and meet you right there. It's like the difference between hearing music and feeling it. A lot of crazy things I'm saying here, but trust me, it's different. Tall soundstage, the vocals are 3 to 4 feet and above, and the percussion on this song, I was never aware of how much percussion is in this song, but the percussion was literally, some piece of it were coming right where the wall meets the ceiling over here, about 5 feet higher than the speakers themselves. Again, I have a big room here, and when I first got these speakers, these Wharfdales, I didn't know if they'd be too small for this room. They never have been, but they fill up this room pretty nicely. It's about a 25 by 25 foot room, and I'm sitting, again, 10.5 feet away from the speakers. These speakers are about 3 feet away from the walls. They're ported on the back, so I'm getting a very good listening experience in this room with these, I guess, relatively small speakers. Never going back again. You can see Lindsay's strings on this. There's so much detail. Close your eyes. You can see the strings vibrating. You can smell the wood of his guitar, right? If there's any guitar players out there, put your nose up to the sound hole. You know what it smells like. It's almost like you can smell it just by listening to this song. So realistic that when Lindsay's singing it, close your eyes, you can almost visualize his vein coming out of his neck. So much detail in this 45 speed record. It's ridiculous. That goes right into Don't Stop. First note I put in here is freaking best ever. The rhythm is massive and driving. The guitar solo is high and wide. It presents itself so much differently than the 33 speed record. It's big, it's thick, it's, again, one of their most popular songs ever, and presented this way, the most enjoyable way to listen to this song, in my opinion. Go Your Own Way, another song we all know. I mean, this album in itself is a greatest hits album, right? My notes here on Go Your Own Way is powerful. That's coming back, it's a theme. Everything is bigger and better and brighter. The right channel, the acoustic guitar that comes out, we hear it. And here it presents itself where it's hanging out in space right here in the right channel. Bigger, brighter, more articulate, more enjoyable. The center image I wrote down here, the drum punch is mammoth. Again, you feel this record, you don't just listen to it. The solo, it almost feels like you can sense the edge of breakup in the amps. It's alive. Okay, it's almost like a live presentation of this music in your room compared to hearing it on a very good 33 RPM record. It's just different. It's better. Now, on the regular 33 RPM record, Songbird is the last song on the first side, right? Christy McVie's fantastic song. On the 45, it is the last song on side 2. There's 4 sides, right? It's two separate pieces of vinyl, 4 sides. So this ends essentially the first record. This song has always gotten me. I mean, she can put tears in your eyes in a blink of an eye. If I'm in the mood, yeah, this song will get me just about every time. And in this case, it was no difference. This song was recorded differently than the rest of the album. This song was actually recorded at a theater, UC Berkeley, where she was up there just with her piano. And yeah, fantastic. In this presentation on the 45 speed record, you're getting a private show in your room, and it's palatable. You can see, it's almost like she's singing there at the keyboard, at the piano, and you can almost see her breath. If the light were, it's crazy, right? Anyway, trust me, the detail is amazing. You'll also get more on the 45. Lindsay is playing an accompanying guitar, just filling in some of the spaces, and we've all heard it on different recording or different versions of this. We've all heard it on the 33 RPM. Heck, we probably could pick it up in our cars as well. Here on the 45 speed, there's a lot more going on there. There's a lot more. His guitar is more vivid. It's more organic. It's very, very tasteful. Okay, great song. And on this, I've never heard it better. Period. Great stuff. The chain is really what made me think, wow, I have a completely new set of speakers in my room. It dawned on me during the song that it sounded like I don't have these bookshelf speakers in here anymore. I've got a tower, and it is filling up the room like unlike any other recording I have. I always go back to the Dire Straits album, the Mobile Fidelity that I have of that, and that is maybe still the most, well, no, I would compare this one right up there with that. And I did Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme. These three records, but this one in particular, this Rumours 45 speed, it's got the biggest soundstage. It fills up the room like I've got tower speakers in here. Like I just went from spending $1,000 for these two speakers to spending $12,000 for these ridiculous Warpdale towers. Not that I would know, but that's how this record made me feel. So the chain, right away, that cowbell, it's right there, right? It's right there, three-dimensionally right there in your face. Much more cymbal detail all over the place. Bass extensions on this thing are, I've never used a subwoofer with these speakers. I don't feel like you need it. And listening to this song on this speakers, on this album, the bass is rumbling in this office space. Where the 33 is excellent in all phases, the 45 is just ridiculous. Okay, huge difference, huge difference. That goes into You Make Love and Fun. You've got, starts off 1, 2, 3, boom, and there you are. It's massive. The song's massive. Great backing vocals on this song stand out, and I would say that all the backing vocals off this album come with a lot more texture, a lot more realism, a lot more volume in space, not volume in loudness, but volume in space. I wrote here of You Make Love and Fun, you're swimming in sound and surfing on the waves. There's a lot going on here. So much going on, you get to hear it all effortlessly, right? It'll be the 33 speed or different things. You want to sit back and you can hear it all, but if you want to pull out certain instruments, it may take a little bit of effort. No, not on this one. It's all right there in front of you, and it is so effortless to listen to this album coming out. Yeah, doesn't make a lot of sense, but big differences, okay? I don't want to know. I've mentioned hand claps in other songs before, and this one, it's three-dimensional. The hand claps are right there coming out of the left channel. I was just smiling the whole time on this song. It's a song that, I love every one of the songs in this album, but this isn't going to be my go-to. On this one, yeah, I was smiling the whole time. It's like I was listening to the song for the first time again. Outstanding. The 45 presents this song completely different than the 33. It's that much of a difference. All right, as we go into the last two songs of the album, and in this case on the 45, it's the only two songs on side 4, okay? Oh Daddy and Gold Dust Woman. Well, Oh Daddy, Christy McVie song, is one of my favorites. This encapsulates her voice, for me, almost like none other. There's maybe a song on Tusk that's Brown Eyes, I think, is another one that is really wonderful by her. But Oh Daddy arguably is my favorite song on the album. You almost get that vibe of a dimly lit room and the band's just playing in front of you with candles all around. Yeah, it's enormous. I just put, totally getting lost in the song. The bass coming out of the second verse is a gut punch. The dynamic range on this song, the dynamic range in this song is probably more prevalent than any other song because you do have really quiet parts and you do have some powerful parts within the same song. I just wrote a couple things. Killer organ on this thing. As you roll probably into the last minute of the song, Christy McVie's organ playing it's magical. It's a really, really good song. The song listen to it again, okay? Go and listen to this song a few more times because this is probably not one of the most widely played songs on the album. Well, give me your comments on this song. I'd like to hear what most people are thinking about this. And we end with Gold Dust Woman. I almost thought that I bought like a deluxe version of this album, like something different. This, as I mentioned earlier, this 45 and the 33 I have, they're both mastered by Kevin Gray and Steve Hoffman. It's the same recording. It's the same from the original analog tapes, the same process. One is just cut on a 45 and one's cut on a 33, how I understand it. But regardless, it is the same recording. Well, coming within the first couple seconds, actually before the song even begins, Gold Dust Woman, you hear a countdown. Well, you hear yelling first. Yelling, almost like moaning, and I think it's Lindsay. And then you hear him doing a count-in. So you hear this new intro yelling, counting in 1, 2, 3, and then it starts. I never heard that before. Put in the comments if you guys have heard that. The ones who have listened to it on 45. I've never heard that intro before. And then the rest of it's the same, but again, I think they're pulling more information out of the grooves on a 45 speed versus a 33. It's the best version ever that I've heard. The cowbell is right there. You hear more reverb in Stevie's vocals. And I guess the last thing I'll say about this, it's hypnotic. I was such in a groove and lost in the song that it ended and I was just exhausted, but then I forgot that I actually have to lift up the needle. Forgot where I was for a few seconds. It was fantastic. So that's Rumours at 45 speed RPM. Completely different experience than any other version I've heard before. And I go back to what I said about turning these speakers into towers. Well, yeah, on the cheap. Yeah, I don't have $12,000 to go out and buy these huge towers, right? Wharfdale towers. But for an extra $30, which is about the difference between a 33 RPM record and the 45 RPM record, yeah, like I said earlier, close your eyes and I thought I had damn towers in the room. It filled this room up like nothing else that I own. It was such a dramatic difference. So to that quote from that individual, I'll read it again. I'll stick with the 33 because I have an inexpensive system and won't be able to hear the difference. Sorry, you will. So I hope you get a chance to go pick up the 45 RPM because you will hear a difference. I don't have an expensive record player. If I can hear the difference to such a degree, yeah, I can just imagine what the individuals with these super systems have, how they're seeing the difference or hearing the difference. Whew, that's it, really. By going, I almost said, I was at a record store the other day, actually, for the first time in a long time. And I told him, I think I've been ruined. Meaning that, for all of my desert island, records that I want, do I want to move into 45 if they're available? That might be something I'm going to have to pursue now. I went back and listened to it on 33 speed. It was good, but man, I'm never going back to that. Not after I've heard it on 45. So, yeah, do yourself a favor. Go out there, and if you can afford it, if you're looking to get Rumours for the first time on vinyl, skip the 33. Go right to the 45 if you can find it. I had to search around a little bit, but I was able to order it online. I'll try and put the link of where I ordered it. Again, I don't get any affiliation. I'm just going to try to point you guys in the right direction. As I mentioned, I may have mentioned earlier, if you like this content, I should say this earlier in the recording process, but if you like this content, yeah, please hit the like button. I'd really appreciate it. It's free. And furthermore, if you could hit the subscribe button, even better for me. It's free too. Down the road you don't want to subscribe, go ahead and unsubscribe. That's fine. But in the meantime, I would really appreciate it. I try to get about 2 to 3 of these videos out a week, and that would really go a long way into helping me. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much. That's it. That's all I got. So do yourself a favor. Go out there. Give yourself some time at the end of the day, or whenever that is. And heck, go put on Rumours 45-speed LP. You got to flip it one more time, that's all. And listen to the whole album front to back on a modest system, right? You don't have to have $50,000 systems, $100,000 systems. Nope, $3,500 system, you can tell the difference just fine. So give yourself some time. Listen to an album. Relax, decompress, because if not now, when, right? That's really it. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and I hope to see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.